Alright, so anarcho-capitalism, right? Seems like a fun idea where, government doesn't tell anybody what to do, doesn't put restrictions on business owners to protect the workers or to protect the rivers, right? Where the capitalists, because they're all, there's no government interference, so they're all just going to be happily competing with one another, and all the prices are going to be really low, and all the wages are going to be really high, right? That's what the anarcho-capitalists think is going to happen. But the reality is, that's not how it's going to work. And I'll tell you why. There are three things. Monopolies, cartels, and market division. Government is not the only thing capable of forming monopolies. They are capable of it, but they're also capable of breaking up monopolies too. But capitalists are able to outcompete one another and then corner the market in a certain area, at the very least, and become a monopoly. Right? Capitalists are more than capable of doing that. And in countries without much regulation, the bigger companies can come in, set up shop, and charge an incredibly low, but have incredibly low prices to outcompete all the surrounding businesses so that they go out of business. And then once everyone's out of business, they'll raise them really high, and there's not much choice left as to where you can buy your stuff, right? Large companies often do that. Right? Government exists to prevent them from doing that kind of thing, but in some places, they're still capable of doing it because government doesn't crack down on them for doing it. Right. Two is cartels. Now, when a lot of people think of cartels, they often think the drug cartels in Latin America. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about what happens when businesses decide to cooperate with one another, where they'll share customers and raise their prices like crazy. Instead of competing, they cooperate, and that's a recipe for disaster. It does happen on occasion. There are laws against it, but they still try to get away with it sometimes. And then there's a market division, where companies will agree with one another not to set up shop in one another's territory, so that they can raise their prices and lower their wages to whatever the fuck they want, and not be accountable to customers that would just go somewhere else for doing things like that. So those three reasons are why anarcho-capitalism could never really work. Right? Shortly, it would turn into a corporate feudal system. And I'm not really interested in a society like that. Right? Business owners don't like to compete with one another. They don't. That's why anarcho-capitalism will fail. And if you want to see what an anarcho-capitalist society would look like, read up on the Wild West, man. Unlike what you see in the movies, there really wasn't a sheriff's office a lot of times in those towns that were built. There wasn't. And newspapers would print out articles bragging that there wasn't a murder in a week. Right? When greed is the core of your culture, and when lawlessness is more or less also the core of the culture, you'll bring out the worst in people. And people will be killing each other over trivial nonsense all the time. Doesn't sound like a good idea to me. So, that's why anarcho-capitalism will fail. Peace.